Fair though. Now we're live.
And we're like,
Yep, and you just fucked it up.
No, that's a great opening.
it was
There
already a
are two
fuck
of you.
job.
I'm good.
He's
There.
okay. I only see
So
one of
welcome
them.
to the ToonamiGAF podcast, episode number 13. With me this week are two versions of Seda, one of
Yep.
which just sits in the corner of the room and doesn't talk.
Well, I don't
That
know.
version is Shinji.
Yes, I don't know how
Okay.
that happened, but whatever.
And B-dubs.
Hello.
Hello. Yep.
Happy
So
Tuesday.
it's Tuesday again.
Again.
So and guess who doesn't have zero time dilemma?
You.
Me.
I also don't have it. What's it for?
Vita,
Ah.
3DS, and PC.
Oh. I should get that. I need
It's
a
on
game to
Steam.
play on the train.
But if you haven't, have you played 999 and VLR?
No, I have not.
Then don't play those first. Period. End of story. No
And now I
discussion
have
otherwise.
and now I have to find them.
Yep. You have to get the DS version of 999 because all the other ones remove all the puzzle rooms,
Of course.
and then any version of VLR is fine.
Alright.
Except there's a save bug on the 3DS. Don't save in the puzzle rooms on 3DS. It'll
That's always
erase.
fun.
It'll brick your game.
These
Yep.
games are just screwed up.
Someone's having a snack.
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
haven't eaten
So,
yet.
today, yeah, just trying to think. Let's just get into news for now. So,
Was
Toonami's
there
going to
any?
be at Toonami's going to be at Anime Expo this weekend,
Which
and
has
Hmm.
also been canceled because of ratings.
they were going to announce the new show, but summer ratings were down for 2 weeks, so canceled.
Well, we already talked about Anime Expo last week. Nothing really new, right?
Well, I guess we should give our official predictions
Predictions?
this week.
Yes.
So kind of like, what show do you think? What show do you want? And what show will they announce?
Mm.
Zeta.
Uh, I mean, I'm not very familiar with anime in general, um, and I know this is kind of the obvious one, so I'll go with the obvious pick. So they're premiering the One Punch Man dub. That's actually the day
After.
after the Viz panel, the day after.
Mhm.
Um, and so I know One Punch Man has been highly requested. It seems like it'd be an easier fit than something like JoJo, which has also been highly requested and is also Viz, simply due to the length.
Also, JoJo probably doesn't have a dub ready yet, unless they wanted to go with the Warner Brothers dub of parts 1 and 2.
Oh, I forgot that they might redub it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's so weird that there's like a Warner Brothers dub. Anyway,
Viz
um,
has apparently never, hardly ever doesn't dub something they have the license to. So
yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna have to guess One Punch Man. I know that the argument against that is that Hunter x Hunter was probably expensive. Gundam from Funimation is probably expensive. Gundam is Funimation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gun, is it?
It's not? I
I
thought
think
I
it's
thought
actually just kind of directly from Sunrise.
Oh, Sunrise. Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's Bang Zoom.
Oh wow. They haven't been around for a while.
I literally think they went directly to Sunrise to, do the finagling.
Oh wow. That would
Bandai
make
and
sense.
Sunrise and Gundam are always kind of weird. How
Yeah.
they, now that I remember correctly, I think Gundam 00 was Sunrise too as well, and so
It
I guess
might
that would
have
make
been.
sense. Let me check. Yeah, Sunrise. Okay.
Alright. So there's nothing from Funimation, so next show might be coming from them.
So you think it? So you both want and
Well,
think it will be?
I was just saying that the argument against something like One Punch Man is that first of all it would be airing at like 1 a.m. 1:30 a.m. So like it seems like too expensive a show to maybe put have replace Champloo in its spot. But I'm gonna guess that anyway.
Okay. B-dubs.
Well, it just occurred to me we don't have a whole lot from Funimation these days,
Well, we
so
have Dragon Ball Z in One Piece, which will sit there forever, and then
And
right, but
Samurai
who?
Champloo.
Samurai Champloo is technically Funimation now.
Oh, right, right. I forgot because somebody else did that one before. The original
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
version.
Geneon.
Geneon.
Yeah. and then they disappeared from the face of the earth. Yeah, honestly, I'm probably gonna go with One Punch Man 2, if only because it's so incredibly requested. But then again, there's nothing really stopping them from getting something older in their, like maybe Samurai Jack. That way, when they air the new season, they can just, be like, oh, we already showed you the old stuff.
Well, they already showed most of Samurai Jack. I think they like cut it out when the block contracted back to 3 hours.
Yeah,
They cut out like the last two episodes, but otherwise we saw basically all of it.
good
Yep.
point.
And that was at like 5 a.m., but still.
And they
Yeah,
wouldn't have enough episode. They wouldn't have enough time to run through all of Samurai Jack.
yeah,
Hmm.
They would have to, admit to that. Hey, we're just going to run some of it.
yeah. All right,
Uh,
well, yeah, I'm just gonna go with One Punch Man because unless they're gonna get something cheap from Funimation that's been around for a while, there's not really much else out there they can get.
And I know Funimation has had a couple of older Aniplex
Yeah,
titles. Um, like they had the Birdie the Mighty, they had Darker Than Black, and a few others that are like around the 2010 time frame
yeah, they got a
that
bunch of
might have
those
fit.
from around there.
But all of those are like running out in terms of their like contract or license or whatever, and
Yeah,
so they're not airable right now. So I don't know what
yeah.
else. I don't know what else like these companies have that they can do. Um,
I mean, I know some of
I know
them.
there's like what is Psychopass? Is that,
Psycho Pass is
Oh
probably
God,
still with Netflix.
well, I
yeah,
meant like who did the dub and license for it? Is that Funimation
Netflix.
or is it all Netflix?
It might have been.
I don't
I
know.
feel like it might have been Viz,
Um,
or fuck, I don't know, or maybe, fuck, I don't know.
I just know that's a show I don't know much about. I hear some mixed things on it.
It's
Um,
because it's very popular with a kind of a casual crowd, but once you get into any sort of enthusiast crowd, it's like, oh yeah, Psycho Pass blows.
like Sword Art. Okay, and that is Funimation in the U.S. So, but I know that's
okay,
that's on Netflix, so that makes things weird.
yeah.
But
I mean,
So,
yeah, just depending on how cheap they want to go. I mean, places
or
on
how expensive they
Funimation.
want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they'd want to go cheap. So,
heck, they could announce at Anime Expo that the replacement is Samurai Jack, and it's
Yeah,
airing in 2 weeks or whatever. Who knows?
I feel like they would give some bigger lead up than that.
Yeah,
I
I'd
don't
imagine.
know.
And also, it would not air at 1 o'clock in the
No,
morning.
yeah.
Right.
Uh, so so the show I want is One Punch Man as well. I think we're all in agreement
Oh,
there. I technically want JoJo more, but it's just not going to happen at this point.
no.
It's not yet. Not yet. I
Maybe
feel like
after
it
Hunter x
will
Hunter.
happen.
It'll replace
It,
Hunter x Hunter in 3 years.
Yeah.
no, it'll
and by,
replace
and
like
by then and by then we'll have 5 seasons of JoJo or whatever.
Yeah.
it'll replace Gundam or Samurai Jack, I think. Uh, or maybe I don't know. Whenever the dub is done.
Maybe we'll be saved from Naruto by JoJo.
No,
No?
I,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
dream.
But I don't think it will be One Punch Man. My official guess is going to be Ushio and Tora.
from Sente, yeah.
Oh, I forgot that was around.
Right,
Fuck,
because it
now I
hasn't.
want that.
Its dub hasn't shown up yet,
Right?
which is mysterious. It's
It's
feeling like
also,
it's around time it should show up.
and it's also
and
Toonami as fuck.
and not only that, it fits into the kind of old show
Yeah.
but new show mold of Samurai
Like,
Champloo.
yeah, it's got that nice old school feeling animation that just,
As like a time, and it's probably
dirt cheap.
not as cheap as Samurai Champloo would have been, but not
Yeah.
as expensive as most of the other stuff they could get.
Right.
Yeah, like they could
And
probably get it a lot cheaper than One Punch Man.
yeah, so that's my actual official guess is Ushio and Tora.
I had completely forgotten that was getting a dub. Fuck, I want that now. I
Yeah,
changed my vote.
I don't want it in place of One Punch Man, but I think that's what we're gonna get.
I really like that. I really liked the
Now
manga,
that
and
didn't that show, or at least its first season, end like this weekend?
It's done. It
yeah, I
was
finished
39
that.
episodes total, split into one two-course season and one course season.
Apparently, they cut out a bunch of stuff from the middle, so you know,
Yeah,
because the original writer wanted to get to the ending because he didn't have any hope of seeing it animated otherwise.
right. They were like, we can only get 39 episodes. What do you want to cut?
Yeah. And it was
But
either do a perfect adaptation of 39 episodes worth or do a really good adaptation of most of the series.
but yeah, it fits all the boxes I'm looking for. Unless they're looking to move around shows, it is perfect for that time slot. It's probably in the correct price range for that time slot. It fits thematically, and it fits
Oh,
kind of thematically, and
I have, I have,
overall.
I have a
oh,
question for those familiar. How many
yeah.
like general characters does Ushio and Tora have? Like,
Well, I mean,
There's the two main
well,
characters.
yeah, obviously the two titular characters.
there's the
There's
girls,
like
a couple of girls,
you're probably
Ushio's
looking at
dad.
Is it like a
um,
Game Got Kill type cast?
No, no, it's not like that.
hmm,
The reason why I'm asking is like for Sentai dubs, they have like some talent from actors
Yeah.
with some experience. So like if they could fit like the main key roles with good actors and like maybe
I
the
mean,
dub
there's,
won't be terrible. But if there's a ton of characters that they kind of have to fit with
I mean, the
their
only two characters that show up regularly are Ushio and Tora, and everyone else sort of cycles in and out. So it's like Ushio's dad will show up now and again, like the girls will show up now and again. There's a couple of characters that'll show up once or twice.
yeah.
I feel like Ushio and Tora is often described as what if Inuyasha was shonen as fuck,
Yeah,
and that's kind of like I feel like that's the best comparison for cast size.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking like, obviously this is a simplification, but
with a
something like
smaller.
Agame Ka Kill, they have so many characters that just with Sentai's pool of talent, they're gonna inevitably use some actors that aren't very experienced and just really aren't very good. Where Parasite, besides like the main character voice not kind of falling flat in many places, had a smaller
It
cast and
wasn't horrible.
had a smaller cast and with a couple of slight changes it could have been a lot better. So I was just thinking
Yeah,
if maybe Ushu and Tora had a slightly smaller cast and if they were cast well it could be okay.
I
I'm
think
being
there's.
optimistic here.
I
If they
think
nail Ushio and Tora, and if
it's
they
good.
nail the villain, and if they nail the two female,
Girls,
you know,
leads,
The main heroines or whatever.
the main
and
heroines,
Ushio's
then they'll be
dad.
fine. If they
Yeah,
do those at least well enough, it'll be fine.
yeah, because those are there's like maybe six characters that show up more than a couple of times.
Right. So yeah, that's what I think we're gonna get. I suppose other shows we could potentially see would be Log Horizon
And
is kind of also an Ushio and Tora-ish thing.
Yeah,
Uh, Visions of Escaflowne's new dub. It is also premiering the day after the Toonami panel. That
yep,
also,
that
you
also
know,
kind of fits the old and new
yeah,
because it's an
and
old
within
show and
that it
new
was a
dub.
thing they said we wanted to show
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
DeMarco always did want to show that.
What is
Like,
Escaflowne, or however you pronounce it? Like, is it Mecha or
it's kind of like medieval mecha show. Like imagine like Record of Lodoss War plus mechs.
what and what?
Like high fantasy mechs.
Okay, I'm just imagining like King Arthur's Court plus Gundam.
Like okay, so
That'd be
regular
cool.
Japanese high school girl gets tossed into medieval world that has mechs.
Okay, that
So
sounds
it's
like that
like
sounds like anime.
That sounds like
Inuyasha, only instead of demons, it's giant robots.
Oh, and is Escaflowne's main character a girl?
yes.
I
I
guess that
mean,
would kind of also fit. I know DeMarco made comments that like they're looking for shows with more female lead characters because right now Toonami is kind of lacking in them.
JoJo's
So,
Bizarre Adventure Part 6.
It's kind of a yeah, it's kind of a sausage fest right now.
I mean, unfortunately, given the nature of what they're showing.
DBZ
Yeah,
Gundam and Hunter x Hunter is pretty male oriented, yes.
yeah.
And
And
then
then Samurai
Samurai
Champloo,
Champloo has and
who gets
Naruto.
kidnapped a lot.
Naruto has women characters, but they're all terrible.
Naruto pretends to have strong female characters, but
So when
Not
you're
so
saying
much.
when you're saying that, I guess other than Fu, the best female characters are One Piece women. That's
Yeah.
kind of
and boy, currently in that set area, you got hey Nami, Robin, or the Warthog.
Hey,
I
don't
guess
you talk
Perona it
shit about
is.
Lola. Don't you talk shit about Lola. She's amazing.
So yeah,
I'm gonna have to take your word for that because Lola pissed me off in the recent episodes.
She does get better.
she'll be different.
She
So
actually
yeah,
does change a lot at one point.
I'm excited to see what we get.
And now she's best friends with her bro, Nami.
Yeah, and Chopper still thinks Nami is a guy.
Well, Chopper's kind of dumb.
As far as I know, he has never actually said, "Oh yeah, I realized that was a lie." He may to this day still believe that.
I could see. No, I think he's actually figured it out because they had that scene with the. Oh no, that's spoilers.
Yeah. Anyway, uh, I guess we've moved to thinking it is going to be Ushio and Tora.
It's
Uh,
either One Punch Man, Escaflowne, or Ushio and Tora at this point.
and also, like Sentai, their two shows were both dub premieres, right? So it's not like a dub premiere is out of the question at all. So it
Right.
Right.
makes sense.
Yep. So that's what I'm going with. Uh, we'll see what they get. It'll be like surprise Fate Zero.
Oh God.
I saw a couple episodes of Fate Zero, and outside of the first episode being like exposition dump, which honestly someone can just write up a post and like summarize it.
And we can all skip it.
Yeah, other than that first episode, I remember really enjoying it. I have a feeling it's the type of show.
Outside of the first episode, it's prime Toonami material. It's just the first episode is an hour-long exposition dump where nothing happens.
I have a feeling though it's the type of show where people might get confused, like what is going on?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't handle its explaining
Well,
things
also
very
like this
well.
whole Fate series, like I know it was originally a visual novel with like three different
Fate Zero
paths.
is basically
It's
a
a
prequel.
prequel to that three different paths, and then
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of spin-offs, and then like different games
And
now
then
that
there's
are
the creepy
spin-offs.
Wally spin-off.
Yeah.
Didn't the guy that did SAO write that?
Would
Uh,
not surprise me.
I remember reading something along those lines, like somebody posted like, "Oh, he did SAO first and then Fate Zero."
no, I don't think he wrote Fate Zero. Whatever his name is, Kashiwara, or whatever his name is.
Oh, look it up.
I just had a thought, but maybe My Hero Academia? Probably not, though.
No.
Probably not. It's only 13 episodes. But hey, that's actually the thing is that if they get something that's two courses, this is our last new show for the year
Mm-hmm.
because Hunter x Hunter
Like I
ate
s- like I like
one
I
of them.
said like I said, we have 20 Tonamis left.
Yep.
I guess I said that before we started recording, but
So if we did,
assuming some marathons, we have 20 normal nights of the block.
so if we do get a one course show, we would get a replacement. But I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. So let's move on to the block because we've, you know,
Watch the announcement be like, we are rerunning Dimension W.
fuck you.
No.
But at least that would mean that Naruto and One Piece get moved up again.
Oh no, the Fate Zero guy did Psycho Pass.
Huh.
Okay.
All right. So the block. Dragon Ball Z Kai episode 76. Tien's desperate attack. Save your friends, Goku. Finally, do something, Goku. God damn it.
Tien was important today
He was important. I'm so proud of Tien.
for the
He
last
actually he actually
time.
he actually changed the course of the story. Like he actually basically allowed the two androids to escape, and now Cell has to go blow up some islands.
Well, he
Yep.
delayed the course of the story.
Hey, he did something. It's more than most
But
characters
but but
get
but
in
but,
this
but
series.
now Krillin has the remote, and he's gonna prevent everything from happening, right?
That's totally something Krillin will do. He's totally not thinking with his dick the entire time.
I mean, I have no idea how. Krillin will save everyone. I have no idea how this could possibly go wrong.
No, yeah, I trust Krillin completely.
So, Cell's semi-perfect form is goddamn garbage in every respect. The design sucks. The voice is annoying.
I think the voice is appropriate though. It's kind of like I
Yes,
don't
it's appropriately annoying.
know.
It's really the lips.
Yeah, the lips are just really weird because I don't know. It's like some mix of like Mr. Popo and I don't know, just
Yeah.
on a bug type guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I could not believe my eyes when he did his yelling at the islands bit.
God.
Get out of
I
here!
mean, that was meme material a decade ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the "I'm a firing my laser" came from.
Yeah.
It's really just instantly, wow, I'm not scared or interested in Cell anymore.
No, he turned really lame really fast.
It was kind of shocking.
Like he was more imposing when he, showed up on the island and
Looked like a bug.
I mean, imperfect Cell is definitely the most imposing at best Cell,
Yeah. I don't know
because
why
then
they
he
made him
becomes
change it.
stupid, and then he turns into Green Frieza.
He gets really pretty in his last form.
Mm-hmm.
I think DTL's gonna like it.
Yeah. So Goku finally uses instant transmission, the thing that could solve the plot.
Yay, he
Yeah, when
remembered he had it.
He could
I mean,
literally.
what goes through Toriyama's mind when he's like, I'm gonna give Goku an ability to warp anywhere? Like, okay.
Nothing was
He
really
writes the
fine.
chapter, and then he's immediately like,
Well,
"Fuck!
now I got to deal with this.
Oops.
Well, I guess I'll never do it again."
It
But
sounded cool at the
he could
time.
literally instant transmission to the receiver, instant transmission to Android 18, boom, plot solved.
I think the only stipulation was he can only instant transmission to like a person he knows, but still,
I think
like
it was-
he knew Piccolo or
Yeah.
TN, like he could sense them, so he could warp to them, and then he could have done lots of things. Like he could have grabbed the androids and then warped them to like the lookout or something, and just say, hey, just stay up here, and since you can't be sensed,
We're good.
we're
I
good.
mean, maybe don't bring them to the lookout, which is like the third place he'll look.
Well, I don't know if Dr. Giro ever knew about the lookout or if Cell did or anything, but
Well, I think Cell can
okay, it
sense
didn't have to be a
energy.
look. Well,
Just transport them to the middle of a random
transport them
forest.
somewhere that Cell doesn't know about. I don't know if Cell knows.
Here's a cave. Cell
Yeah.
can't find you if you don't do anything.
Nope.
Although I guess Cell could just decide to blow up the whole goddamn planet, but fuck it.
Yeah, no. Well, then he wouldn't be perfect, so,
I mean, Vegeta actually could handle him right now.
Right, and we'll see that in
Good.
the next episode, basically.
Yeah.
I assume that's the next episode. Yeah.
I don't know, because it's 2 weeks away.
Yeah. Honestly, speaking of stuff Goku did that he never, did again, remember he can actually read minds?
Oh yeah. On Namek, he like
Yeah, read
reads
Krillin's
Krillin's mind. Like, no, I know
I'm
everything. Like, oh, that's
well,
convenient.
I'm like, oh wow, where did this come from? And he never used it again.
I didn't realize, I had no idea that Vegeta's line about how Saiyan hair stays the same forever is a real thing.
Yep.
I thought it was
What?
complete Team 4-star.
No.
Except for
And there's our
beards
Team
and
4-star.
mustaches.
It obviously doesn't apply to facial hair. But does that mean that like Nappa was just bald,
The whole
never grew
time?
hair?
No, but Gohan got haircuts.
Well, Gohan's half.
Oh yeah, good.
So same with Trunks. Their hair grows.
Yeah, no, Trunks' hair got longer.
Yeah.
He specifically says pure-blooded Saiyan.
Yeah.
So Nappa never had hair in the first place.
I
Nope.
guess. Unless he
Poor
just.
guy. Shaved it off.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything specifically like they can't like style
Shave it
or cut
off.
their hair. It's just that it
Yeah.
never changes from its original point. So if they never touch it, it never whatever. Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
It's, honestly, at this point, it's like, hey, it's Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It's always Dragon Ball Z.
This is where the power, like I know power levels and like the
Are bullshit.
energy like I don't know, like dilution is. This is where it gets at its worst. Like the next couple of episodes, like now Vegeta is stronger. Now Cell is stronger than everybody. Now Vegeta is stronger than Cell. Now Cell is stronger than everybody again. And then
And
now Trunks is
Now,
somehow stronger.
Nothing matters except whose power level is higher.
Yeah, and it's just okay.
Seda, did
Yep.
you just leave the call?
Wait, did I?
One of
Yeah.
you might have.
Yeah, one of me left.
I just got a thing saying Seda left the call, so your evil twin left.
Goodbye, creepy Seda sitting in the corner not saying anything ever.
Maybe that was the real one, and I'm the other
We
one.
missed you. Oh no!
So yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron Blooded Orphans, Episode 4, The Price of Life.
Mhm.
So one thing about this Gundam series in particular is interesting is that it definitely isn't a series that, is bound to having every episode have a fight.
Yeah, which is probably a good thing, honestly.
That's nice.
Although maybe not if the story it's trying to tell in those episodes isn't so great.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's
this
sort of the
episode just
problem.
felt like it was just kind of moving things forward. So it obviously it kind of depends on where it goes from here, and I don't know that. But maybe it inevitably had to just set some stuff up so it doesn't just come out of nowhere later.
It's like the episode where they rename and rebrand, and then the episode where they run into the main villains without knowing it.
Right. And
And McGinnis is a fucking creeper.
well, I mean, it's not his decision if he's marrying an 11-year-old or a 9-year-old or whatever it is.
Right. So that was an
Um,
arranged marriage.
so I know
Earth
some
went
people.
into
Some people.
space, and now everything's fucked. So now child marriage is back in vogue.
Yeah, no,
Like, how does that these are advanced societies? They go into space, and now slavery is back, and arranged marriages are apparently
yeah,
normal
this
things.
is this
Well,
is not what,
colonialism apparently just brought back slavery, and
but this is not what Star Trek taught me at all.
Gundam, the
never seen?
anti-Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Have these people never seen Star Trek? Space is
like
supposed to
most
be
gun,
perfect.
like seems like most Gundam shows take place in future, you know, Versailles.
Yeah,
Like, hey, back when a time when Prussia was a thing.
it really does seem like most Gundam shows are sort of just like World War One analogs, oddly enough.
Yeah. Anyways, so this episode, I don't want to say it was confusing, but there were a couple of things that I'm trying to parse through in terms I don't know how important it is or whatever. So first of all, the Cordelia, she called somebody who was this guy in a shirtless in a steam bath or something. I don't know what he was
So
doing.
basically, from what I remember, she called this guy named Nobliss,
Yeah,
who is basically the Mars big shot. He is very rich, and he
yeah.
is funding her on her mission for independence.
Yeah, they mentioned Nobliss a few times, but we never saw him. And then even in that scene, they didn't refer to him by name, so I wasn't sure. Is this that guy?
I
Although,
think this is Nobliss.
and basically all they said is this guy is rich and is basically supporting Cordelia. But
This
now
guy is rich enough that he can, support her and not worry about Galahorn.
yeah,
He just does
and
what he
I have
wants.
no idea if this guy is important or if he's just kind of a side thing here, or if he's gonna betray them all, or if he's even a main character. But
Speaking of people who are going to betray them all,
yeah, Hitler
Hitler.
stash.
the guy
It's
sitting and
obvious.
muttering in the corner about how he's going to betray them all, and
Yeah,
he's not even hiding it.
It's kind of over. I think
It's
in a sense
madness.
it didn't have to be that blunt. It's kind of
Seriously, just show him.
it's already predictable. Now they're just kind of beating you over the
I
head
mean,
with it.
he's got the Hitler mustache and everything. Just give him some shifty eyes, and he's done. Have him look sideways when they're talking about how amazing they're gonna do, and
Like,
that's
does
all
this
you
look
need.
like the face of a rat fuck traitor?
It absolutely does.
But no, in the first episode we saw him beating children. I think
Yeah.
his role when it was CGS was literally beat children.
Children, yeah.
Be the guy who they have to be like, can I have some more gruel?
No, and now I will beat your ass.
And they kept him for some reason.
Wasn't he the accountant?
No,
No,
the
the
accountant is the guy.
Yeah, the
The
accountant
accountant
was
is
the
the
other
completely
guy.
harmless guy
The
in
accountant
glasses.
looks harmless, and he's basically we have no money.
Maybe the accountant is the one that betrays them.
Yeah, they'll throw a curveball and surprise, Hitler stash is actually nice, and we were
No,
just
Hitler Stash definitely
red
betrays them.
herrings.
Let's not even just
I'm not being
bother with
serious.
that.
And then
They're being very, very unsettled about
It
Hitler
could be a
Stash.
swerve.
I was saying maybe it's a red herring, but
It could be
I
a
don't
swerve.
put that much trust into it.
No,
Okay. Yeah.
Neither do I, but it would be a really awesome swerve if they did it that way, though.
I do know who does betray them, and it is hidden pretty well. So
Oh,
It's Biscuit. I knew that.
I knew it!
I knew it. He's the only fat guy.
It's because he didn't get seconds that time at lunch.
It's because they don't let him take off his shirt.
Well, who would want him to take off his shirt?
Okay, so you may be spoiled it slightly. There's another betrayer,
Yeah.
but my guess, I don't really have much to go off of here. I don't remember his name, but there's the four main guys. There's Orga, Mika, Eugene, and Biscuit. And then there's a fifth guy who's a slave at one point, I guess.
Akihiro.
Akihiro.
Yes.
And he always
He's
seemed
the big, huge, muscular guy.
yeah, and so he always seemed like the guy to me that he would be. I think I said it in the first episode. I bet he goes rogue or something.
You're
But
gonna betray him.
I don't really have much to go off of other than that he doesn't seem to be as well entwined with the rest. And he seems to have a slightly different backstory, so who knows?
Yeah. Anyway.
Now, there's another part of this episode. So Mika, he invites Cordelia, as well as everyone else, to go to this cornfield that's run by Biscuit's family.
There's also Cordelia's, maid, Fumiton.
Yeah.
And of course Biscuit's family runs a cornfield.
You know what? Cordelia's maid could be a betrayer, too. We don't know much about her.
That's true.
Is she really just devoted to Cordelia and everything she does? Huh? I don't know.
That would be a good twist.
Anyways, so they go to a cornfield, and Mika actually kind of invites her. And it turns out the reason why he invited her is because he kind of expected it would make her feel better. Kind of like, but it's kind of funny though, because Mika didn't really even do it for her sake. It was just kind of like, it'll be better for everyone if you feel better, So, kind of a weird, motivation there.
He's not
he's we can't have you sulking all the time. That makes everything harder. So we're gonna make you feel better, even if he doesn't actually really care or seem to care about her feelings that much. It's better for the greater good.
Why not?
I remember in the scene where they're all on the road. There's this infamous animation thing where Astra's coming up over the rise, and her face is just kind of like 2 dots in the smiley face.
Someone mentioned an animation error. Was that what they're referring to?
I think that's what. It's like a blink and you'll miss it. If you're not looking for it, you won't see it.
Oh, that's like the.
But she's just kind of jankily coming up over the horizon of the animation of the cell.
Well, that's not really an animation error. That's just cheap.
I mean, it's basically one of those situations where the character is drawn low detail. But
as if they were
close to be drawn low detail.
Yeah.
Kind of aside, sometimes anime shots do that where they're it starts zoomed in on a character and they're drawn low detail and it's obvious, and then the shot will zoom out and it's okay, now it looks okay, I guess, because they're not the focus of the shot, but if you zoom in on a character, it's obvious. Anyway.
I mean, you usually see it when guys in ToonamiGAF are hey, look at how bad this looks, and it's a shot where 2 characters are very small in the frame, and their faces look wonky, but it's
well, yeah,
okay.
you can always cherry pick shots in a well animated flowing scene. If you pick one frame.
This isn't when it's hey, here's a in between frame that looks ridiculous. Right. This is here's kind of a still image where characters are small and their faces don't look high detail.
And then you just kind of zoom in on that or focus on that.
Yeah, and then make hilarious montages.
Yeah. Anyways, there's also a part in this episode, and I don't know if this is just Japan being Japan, but Cordelia was struggling to pull off an ear of corn, and she's blushing, and it actually felt like it was kind of an extended slight, it took 10 seconds, and I was is this supposed to be some sexual. Weirdly fetishy
No, I think it's look how pathetically unstrong I am.
It just felt really awkward.
Fetishy,
oh look, she's blushing while working really hard. Do people find this cute or something? I don't know. It just
no, yeah, there are.
And then she starts to fall, and then of course Mika just is hey, I gotcha. Actually, he doesn't say anything. He just grabs her. So obviously, people who are into the shipping will put them together. OTP.
Gundam and shipping is, they've been together forever.
Yep. But yeah, that whole scene just felt really awkward to me. Wow, we're putting several seconds of focus onto her struggling with this ear of corn, and the way she was blushing and all that, just okay.
So, Inspector Douche Nozzle and Captain Asshole are investigating the reports of.
I forget the other guy's name, but the one guy's name
is Galio.
Galio and Major McGillis.
Major Fareed McGinnis.
Yeah, or McGinnis. Yeah, McGillis.
His son's name Terry.
But also, yeah, it did show that there seemed to be some dysfunction between Major Coral, I think was his name. He's
Coral.
He's the guy. I think he's also a major, so they're same rank in some fashion.
No,
everyone is a major.
No, I'm pretty sure they said he was a major because I noted it. Okay, they're the same rank, I think. But I might be wrong. But I think that's what they said. But he's the guy wearing red, and he apparently just wants to kill Cordelia, and he wants nothing to do with this independence of Mars, and will do anything to stop it. And
it feels
I
feel
mentioned
like
I mentioned this in the last podcast. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
is this Gallarhorn themselves deciding this, or are they working on the behalf of someone else to try to prevent independence? I don't really know. But this Captain or Major McGinnis guy, McGillis, whatever his name is, douche nozzle, um, he was like, he seemed at odds with some of that and wanted to inspect what happened. Like he wasn't aware of it, and he's also part of Gallarhorn, so seems like somebody is not working to protocol in some fashion.
I
Or
feel like they've introduced this plot point where like so Cordelia wants to go to Earth and negotiate for independence, but
yes.
there are also people who are in the Mars independence movement, and I feel like this has been introduced already, but maybe this is a spoiler, that there are people who want the same thing, but their way of going about it is they want to martyr her. They want to kill her using Gallarhorn
Right.
and make her a martyr. And that might be like what the father is doing. Or no, he's just like a rat fuck traitor.
Well, yeah, it hasn't really shown her father much, other than like
The first episode.
he seemed to be like maybe he's just too scared to do anything and he just wants to cooperate with Gallarhorn to try to make be as passive as possible, even if it's not the right way to go about things. But he doesn't seem like he has. He seems like while he might have the right intentions, maybe he doesn't have. He's not doing it. He's not doing what he should be doing.
Right.
Right.
Anyway, that might have been a spoiler.
Well, I mean, Gallarhorn, they basically imply that they wanted her so they could kill her, but I don't know if anyone else wants
Like
to kill her.
Galahorn wants to kill her so she can't do the negotiation, and then
Someone
people
else wants to kill her and basically use her life as a stepping stone for independence in some other weird way.
right, and then our heroes want to keep her alive. And
Right.
there you go. There is your moral gray area in the show.
Well, right now, like, it's kind of awkward. Like, do we feel super empathetic to Mars and their independence? Like, we have these soldiers, these kid soldiers, child soldiers, and now that they're kind of free, they're now just kind of their own little, I don't know, are they their own little PMC, I guess, and just doing what they feel is right. Like, I don't know.
The problem, once again,
And I
the
guess,
problem
I mean,
is that
they're based on Mars, so I don't know if
Right.
they're, but.
we've been told that Mars is suffering under Earth rule. We aren't really shown it
Well,
all that much.
we haven't seen much.
Other than, you know,
We saw the
kids getting
Atra.
beaten.
We saw Atra, and that they run a shop on Mars, but I don't know. It just like they didn't really show them like struggling or anything like that. It's I don't know.
So
I mean-
the McGillis character, if it wasn't enough that he's marrying a 9-year-old, he keeps a bag of candy with him, so he can give it out to little kids. And it's like, okay, the problem with you want a character to establish himself as friendly with children by giving them candy.
But
The
the fact
problem is that character has to have the candy on hand.
Right.
and he's like just has it perfectly wrapped and ready to go at any moment, like just in case I meet a kid. I don't know. It's weird.
I think from then on he becomes the candy man.
I also really hope that this series doesn't drag out like this Atra versus Cordelia vying for affection of Mika, because I don't know.
I have bad news for you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's like right now there's no reason to really feel anything for any of those relationships, and I think Mika is kind of an interesting character because he's different in the way his thought process works. But like, there's nothing about any sort of his relationship that I would feel like, yes, I am interested in his relationship with either Atra or Cordelia right now. These type of love triangles are always terrible anyway.
Nobody likes a love triangle.
I feel like I should have been making more Walking Dead Coral jokes with Major Coral.
I'd have been okay with that.
So yeah,
Major Coral, banging his head against the bulkhead or whatever.
No, I mean it's like like there's the joke with Walking Dead where Rick he said his son Carl he sounds like he's saying coral, so it sounds like so that's a huge joke.
That they call this guy Coral.
Yeah, it's like hey Coral, I'll shut up now.
I don't get it.
I never saw Walking Dead, so.
Yeah, neither have I. Hunter x Hunter episode 10, Trick to the Trick. So Man, kind of a slow episode.
I kind of liked it though, and again, I know nothing about the series.
Right.
I think a large part of it is, and this might be, influencing my thought, is I'm just actually really glad that so far it hasn't just become high tension battle. I'm going to scream really loud and fight you, and you're going to fight me, and we're going to be
No,
I'm really glad it hasn't turned into that yet.
no, this isn't a series that turns into that, so you don't really have to worry about that.
I think people just have a problem here with Kurapika just sitting and doing nothing.
Yeah,
And
so
it's like, if you had established earlier that Kurapika is like, I will never fuck with a guy who can't fight back.
well, I feel like it's early enough in. Okay, let me start here. I feel like it's early enough in the series that we're still establishing character traits or things like that.
Right.
So just because something is showing up now that didn't show up in the last 9 episodes, I feel like that's not like right now that's not inconsistent because we're not even far enough to have a consistency yet. Anyway, but from what I hear, apparently this might be like a standalone thing where he doesn't really do this in the future. So in that case, it would be. But from my perspective, I hadn't seen that. So now I also want to say that yes, I think Kurapika is being dumb for not finishing this guy off, considering he's just a criminal anyway. But
A criminal who committed like horrible crimes such as fraud
Odd.
and jaywalking.
Yeah.
But he
A
agreed,
horrible
but
person.
especially because Kurapika agreed to a death match already. So I do think he's making a mistake. But I allow characters to make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
If every character just acted in the ideal, perfect way all the time, then any sort of conflict would be boring. So I'm accepting that Kurapika made a mistake, but I don't think that ruins the character or makes it unwatchable or anything like that. So it's just, okay, Kurapika made a mistake. Now
Right.
where does it go from here? I'm interested in seeing that.
We've
Now,
also got a fairly extended explanation of the mechanics behind the Brexit vote.
yeah.
Man, the Oreo really
from-
is tired
from-
of getting outvoted, so Brexit.
And I will say the show also subverted my expectations here because I was not expecting like this bidding war over the previous match, kind of this overlapping of matches here. And Leorio, while Leorio didn't actually win his own match yet, which I assume he's going to lose, because else that would not give Killua a chance to shine, and we all know that they're going to give him a chance to shine. But the fact that he basically saved Kurapika and basically won the match for him by just using relatively simple logic, really,
Right.
to basically force the guy to submit. So I guess what I was expecting to happen was Kurapika would be very, very competent, would win his match and be no big deal. And then Leorio would be just the goofball and the comedic guy, and he would lose his match in hilarious fashion or whatever. And that's kind of what I expected. So I guess the fact that Kurapika showed some, inadequacies, and Leorio actually saved him from it. Like, you know what? I actually appreciate that this show is subverting what I thought would happen. And yes, that includes Kurapika being a bit of a dummy, but I actually appreciate that it did it that way right now.
Leorio was totally willing to murk that guy.
Yep. He was just going to drop him off.
It's like, hey, you did this yourself, Bo.
Not my fault.
Yeah. So he's in a betting war, and I think that's the episode.
Yep.
We also saw Hisoka fight some sword
Scrub.
throwing guy.
A total scrub.
Apparently a guy he clowned.
Apparently he was a examiner from the previous year, which is
And-
like, this guy's a fucking scrub. Of course he deserved to get clowned.
Clowned, of course, is the best adjective or the verb to use here.
For Hisoka.
Now, it's kind of already established that Hisoka is, a menace. He's very, very gifted, acrobatically, but he is a clown, so that kind of makes sense. In terms of like the festival circus type, themes.
Right.
And he's obviously going to be a source of conflict. He already has been, but going to be further so. I remember I saw one person in a thread I was like, yawn, this is boring. Hisoka is still super, super cool, guys. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it hasn't. Well, I feel like there hasn't been that many episodes yet. I mean, we're at 10 of a long, long
Right.
series. So I feel like showing Hisoka to totally wipe a guy here, I feel like that's still pretty appropriate and hasn't really gotten old yet. Now, if they do this for the next, 5 episodes or 10 episodes or whatever, they continue to do that, it might, but I don't think it's gotten old yet.
No, I mean, Hisoka does have a couple of moments. I mean, pretty much everyone who's at the Hunter exam out.
Did I just lose connection?
No.
He just died.
Yeah.
He just left. Okay. Well, anyway.
Anyway, we'll see. He can come back anytime he wants. So yeah.
Now, this is something some people might consider this a spoiler, but it's not really. You have no context for it. So, if I didn't know,
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
What the hell
There
happened?
You just dropped.
I have no idea what the hell. I didn't even touch anything.
You probably had like a brief internet.
now I'm hearing a little bit of an echo effect. I don't know if that's coming through the recording.
That's over B-Dub's mic.
Yeah.
How's that?
Okay, I think it's good now. Anyways, what I was saying was, this is maybe a slight spoiler, and if I didn't know anything, I wouldn't know, but apparently Hisoka, he stays around for quite some time.
I mean, he is in some respects the main villain of Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, but like if I didn't know any better, I wouldn't know if he was just like he's just the villain of the first act, or does he basically stick around like Naraku the whole time, the whole series?
He's kind of like the Orochimaru.
And we'll hopefully not have quite the uninspiring finale.
Oh yeah.
No, his isn't animated though.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen the last of Hisoka, no matter what you're following.
Yeah, so I kind of know that he's going to be around for a while. So some people might consider that.
I mean,
oh, spoiler! I didn't know that, but yeah, we don't know any context.
I mean, he's around, but it's not like he's the main villain or anything. He just sort of.
He kind of does his own thing, and he's not totally aligned with
anyone really. Yeah, it's like he's sort of just a character like everyone else. It's just that what he wants is sort of kind of opposed or in line with what our main team wants, depending on the situation.
At this point, we don't really even know what the main team wants, other than to be hunters. Like, okay,
right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Well, I guess we know that Kurapika wants revenge and Lyria wants money, but otherwise,
and Gon wants to
see his dad.
Yeah.
And Killua is just like, fuck it, I can murk people.
Yeah, he just wants to have fun. No, but before I got cut off, what I was basically saying is, in terms of where we are now outside of the examiners and the president, Hisoka's probably the strongest guy in the series.
I mean, that's what it looks like from my point of view, and I don't know anything about the series. Other than, we have that, I forget his name, bearded basketball dude, who's obviously very, very talented. Old guy, I forget his name.
Yeah, no, that's the president.
Yeah,
his name is
Netero.
Netero.
Yeah, that's
Netero. Right.
So yeah, it's basically the obvious endgame people, then Hisoka, and then the people who Hisoka wouldn't waste in 5 seconds, and then the people who Hisoka would waste in 5 seconds.
Right.
Yep. So, Samurai Champloo, episode 25, Evanescent Encounter, part 2. This is a really good episode.
I actually missed it.
You missed it?
Yes, I did.
Why'd you do that?
It was not on purpose.
Why'd you do that, B-Dubs?
I was out.
So why are you on this podcast? If you can't
out where at 1 o'clock in the morning?
No, I saw most of the episodes already. I just missed that one.
Okay. Have you seen this show before?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
If I remember right, you kind of spoiled some of this earlier, and I was kind of confused because he was talking about events that hadn't happened yet.
Oh, my bad.
So anyway, I'm confused about one specific event in this episode when Sue is having her flashback, and her father turns into, the assassin guy. Is he her father, or is that?
No.
I don't think so.
I think that was just, she was being beaten and kind of delirious. Well, she doesn't know exactly what her father looks like, so, we can't really trust her memory and, kind of there's a narrative term for this. unreliable narrator. We
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
trust anything she visions.
Whenever you see a flashback to like childhood, it's like, okay, some image here is gonna turn into something else radically different
Yeah.
later in the show.
Yeah, you can't trust any flashback because it's at the perspective of the character, and they may not
Right.
be 100% accurate to what is actually in
Going on.
reality there.
But it really wouldn't make sense for the assassin to be her father because it's like they said her father is like he joined Christianity and did a rebellion or something.
No, I don't think
Right.
it is. But apparently her father is just on in a house somewhere in the island for some reason. I don't know if he like went back to their childhood home and just sitting there.
I
don't
think
know.
he's just in exile because of, Christianity.
Well, so apparently he left their home. So Fu's home is on this island, right?
No, I don't think so.
Or maybe
Otherwise, she
not.
would have found him pretty easy.
Well,
I believe
there's like a sunflower field, and she remembered a sunflower field from her childhood.
yeah,
So
this has to be her home
Either
island.
that or he just likes sunflowers and planted a sunflower field.
But I'm a little bit confused. Like, oh, apparently her dad is just sitting at home, and like, but apparently he left at one point. But
Some of the
he's back.
specifics of the current plot in this episode were a little bit
Confusing.
I was able to understand better the past stuff, like why Jin killed his master and what brought that about.
Yeah. So now I think we have the full story now of
Yep.
Jin's backstory. So his master was basically like, hey, let's just make our little dojo. Let's work for some lord, that way we can make money and be.
Let's become assassins.
Yeah, be
basically.
assassins. And Jin was basically like, no, it's not. But then the person they were working for, whose name I forget, who's basically this final boss guy,
So
like,
Kiria, or is kind of his name, I think, close enough, convinced
Close
the
enough.
master of the school to try and kill Jean.
and then Jin like is sleeping, but doesn't matter. He just totally destroys his master in like 3 seconds.
Like it's
Yeah,
almost
Jean-
like sleeping Jean is more dangerous than awake Jean.
Yeah, like Gene just doesn't care. He just cuts dudes down.
But anyways, we finally have the full story, and
I guess the people who were coming after him must have been into the whole "let's become assassins" thing.
yeah. So
Either that or they got the story completely wrong, and they
Well-
thought Gene just murdered their, teacher in cold blood at night.
Well, the guy called it fate. So it's like it seems like based on the Sarah episodes that dual parter and these recent episodes is that apparently Fu's dad they really 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 want to kill.
Right.
I guess his conversion to Christianity and whatever that entailed in terms of what we don't. I'm assuming we might get more of that next episode, the finale. They really want to get Fu's dad, and that means they want to kill. I don't know if that means they want to kill Fu too, and they want to get the bodyguards, which are Jean and Mugen, of course.
Just
So-
completely
so-
screw up anything to do with this guy.
Well, yeah, basically, and this assassin whose name starts with a K, I don't remember what it is.
Kiria,
Kiria.
There you
or
go.
something like that.
He wants to basically fight Jean, not because Jean, was at this dojo that apparently he was going to be a lord of at some point, but because he was Fu's bodyguard, and he just called it fate. So it seems like it's kind of like a coincidence that, hey, we meet kind of again in a sense, even though we've never met before. Just our paths, our destinies are intertwined, so that's why he called it fate.
And then
Okay.
Mugen just fights some random background
Yeah,
morons
that's
from
what-
the
that's
middle
what-
of the show.
That's probably my biggest criticism of these final episodes so far is like apparently this trio of brothers were on these they're like guards on this salt or sugar ship, and then when Mugen and pirates basically stole the ship, now they want revenge, even though this was never established before, and it just kind of feels like I don't feel like everything has to be so established, but
And
just-
now they're crazy specific assassins.
and
Yeah.
Like one of them is the guy with the chain sight, and the other one is guy who eats people.
and then some guy in a wheelchair who I'm assuming his wheelchair is like has a explosive or something.
I assume he's got guns in there,
They wouldn't have this wheelchair guy here if he's not going to contribute to this finale at all.
Master of the ancient art of wheelchair foo.
Or maybe his wheelchair won't be rigged and he'll like actually not be. Maybe he's not actually paralyzed and he'll get up at one point and start like kicking butt. I don't know.
That would be kind of unchamploo-ish.
maybe.
Yeah. Maybe he does tricks on his wheelchair.
He's gonna
and
do
has, like,
something.
he's got Bodiciers on his wheelchair.
Like, I think we've had enough of handicapped people turning that into superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my biggest criticism of these episodes are like these guys that Mugen are fighting are just literally, guys that Mugen crossed in the past and wanted revenge.
They're
On,
like, fuck, who is Mugen gonna fight?
on one hand, it feels kind of appropriate that there are people after Mugen over, the course of his life, but to have it like show up in the finale here and be like the climax, it just kind of feels misplaced. So, it just doesn't. Like the other stuff at least had a little bit of build up, with Fu's dad and how that mixes in with Jean at the dojo, and it kind of, even though it also kind of came together late, there was some like foreshadowing or there was some preamble to this, where the Mugen stuff is just like, hey, remember that ship? Yeah, we were on it. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
No, I didn't see you as I was slicing people up and burning.
And then Mugen killed a guy underwater.
He does like to do that.
By taking a claw to his hand and disarming him.
No, he just straight through the heart.
Yep.
So yeah. Naruto Shippuden, episode 117, Jugo of the North Hideout.
What even happened in this episode?
So the primary thing that happened in this episode is they ruined the curse mark.
Oh yeah, the curse mark now it comes from Jugo.
The curse mark now, like even the second stage of curse mark, which was like, holy shit! Now it's just like, look at all these dumb jabronis with ugly forms just getting cut down like butter.
Was that filler though? I wonder to have all those guys with curse
what
marks.
else is new?
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy Jugo, apparently he's the originator of the curse mark or something. He can like turn into Big O.
I hate his character the most.
And the thing is, like, they make him sound insane, and they make it obvious that he's insane. Like, I want to kill a man, I want to kill a woman, I want to kill a man. But even if I didn't know what happens, like, I have a hard time feeling like this character is going to be, like, significant at all. Like, when these shows start just adding these kind of random characters like this in these long-running shows, like,
you can just tell they're not going anywhere.
At least with One Piece, you know that it's going to add these characters, but then when the arc's done, you won't really. They'll be back there.
Well, I mean, like, it's hard to explain, but like when Sasuke is searching for a team, like I have a hard time based on this show's pedigree. Just, oh yes, I bet these characters are actually going to be significant or be a threat or be a contributor at all to this narrative.
Well, you're right to be suspicious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already know what happened, so I'm kind of feigning ignorance here, but it's just like when they introduce, like, I guess for One Piece, it's kind of become a staple for each arc to have like a set of villains, and eventually they're going to have to fight or be in some sort of conflict. Where Naruto isn't quite that. So, like, we already have these Akatsuki members that are still hanging about. So, like, for example...
We had Orochimaru until,
Well, like, for example, Itachi's been around, that swordfish guy, he's been around. So, like, there's at least a little bit of, I bet that swordfish guy is going to be in some battle at some point, and it might actually be something that's important. I don't know, but but like then we have these like Sasuke pawns that are just like, okay, why are we adding these guys? I guess whatever.
Because he needed a team.
Because Sasuke needed his own show.
Yeah.
With his own stupid friends.
Who are stupid.
And and then they take this Jugo recruitment and split it into 2 episodes because it totally needed that.
It totally did.
I'm trying to remember. Is there anything else that happened in this episode? Like what?
He's actually the worst of the
Naruto and everyone else showed up again.
Oh yeah, they told Naruto that basically Orochimaru was dead, and
everyone apparently everyone in the entire fucking universe knows exactly what goes on in Orochimaru's hideout at all times.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But it's really just everyone has the script.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, the the fact that like these rumors were spreading, that made absolutely no sense. Like, who else would know? How in the world would they possibly spread unless
It would
like
literally be Kabuto.
unless Kabuto like is like I don't know.
Emergency to everyone I know.
Yeah,
Orochimaru's dead.
with magic chakra telepathy or something.
The thing about,
Yeah.
hey, we have intel about Orochimaru is like, how do you have intel about Orochimaru and not be attacking him?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Because they're stupid. It gets even stupider later on.
and also the fact that Orochimaru kind of went out with a whimper. Like I feel like if Orochimaru was defeated by Sasuke, and that was something that was kind of being built up to. We knew that conflict was going to happen.
If there was a great fight and he killed Orochimaru, no one would be saying this is bad.
And then like if Naruto kind of learned secondhand that Sasuke killed Orochimaru, that'd be kind of like on from a character perspective, like, oh shit, Sasuke defeated my worst enemy. Like, but the fact that these rumors make no sense, and the fact that he went out with a whimper in like the most silliest way possible, it's just kind of like
dumb.
None of this is fitting together.
Like
all.
Orochimaru, literally,
stupid.
It's all downhill from his first appearance in the Forest of Death.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's all downhill from his battle with the fourth Hokage, or the third Hokage.
Yeah. It's. Can I just say how much I hate Jugo?
You already said that.
But he ruins everything. I swear to God.
Because of the curse mark?
It's not only the curse mark. He ruins something else later on too, because apparently he has to be able to do everything because fuck it.
I actually don't know what you're referring to, and I've seen these.
Travis Willingham deserves a better character.
Yeah, he was a filler guy before, and now he's Jugo.
Yeah, and now he's going to be around forever.
I mean, at least this time he's an actual real character.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, technically.
Almost, not really.
It almost feels like Sasuke is running around with filler characters who are actually canon.
They are filler characters. You got the girl lusting after his balls. You got fish water guy.
Ambiguously gay swordsman.
Yeah, and then you got the guy who's basically a battery.
These characters suck.
They really do. Can we move on?
Yes.
Let me just say one thing. I know people have been saying like this gets better, and I will say it does get slightly better because Sasuke fights a couple guys. We get some backstory with Kakashi and Jiraiya. I don't like it as much as the Shikamaru stuff, but it's better than just Sasuke gathering dummies. So it does get better, but I actually dropped the show sometime in this arc, like in this pain arc, because I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah, no.
So like I don't think it gets
too
that
much
better, but I do think it gets better. So it's this is terrible right now.
It really is. This next stretch of episodes until it
Naruto Shippuden has not been good even once the entire year.
Nope.
No. And it's
I mean, that filler arc was super long. 24 episodes of that. And now this is like not any better.
Seriously, how the hell did they get 24 episodes out of that?
By meandering a bunch.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Seriously.
Where there's money, there's a way. Anyway, Naruto sucks. One Piece, episode 351. Awakening after 500 years. Oars opens his eyes. Which is the only thing that happened in this episode.
Yeah, this is kind of a nothing episode, which is going to happen sometimes.
I remembered, this is that episode when the opening scene was Moria just walking one chain link at a time, very slowly, up to oars, and every time he takes a step, let's cut to Prona's reaction, step. Let's cut to Absalom's reaction, step. Let's cut, and on and on.
Yeah.
And then, like 3 minutes of Oars' heartbeat.
Oh, God. I tried to block that part out.
Oars is waking up, and it takes like 5 minutes.
Seriously.
Like, the only part I enjoyed about this episode was Hogback getting fucked up by an ice block. like there's the part where it falls on him and Sindri just moves out of the way and back into the scene.
Care.
And then he gets blown to the wall, and it crushes him, and then Sindri crushes him because Sindri lives to destroy him.
So when Oars wakes up, Nami screams and fall out of the bear's backside, and then now they're found, and then basically some shenanigans later they're running away,
Right.
and then like the whole scene where they're struggling is kind of dragged out too.
They even add the old, hey, here's an obvious padding indication. People are running across the frame back and forth.
I don't
And it's like,
remember that.
fuck, you can tell some people at Toei were like, yes, this is amazing. We packed like 3 pages into an episode.
They must have been so impressed with themselves.
But no, Absalom is the worst. So first, his only comedy value seems to be coming from making stupid jokes about how harsh people are. Dr. Harshback.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost hilariously unfunny.
Yeah.
I think it might be the point.
I think it is.
And then he shows up and kidnaps Nami again.
And then Robin and Frankie show up to save Usopp and Chopper.
Yep.
And that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah, that was kind of a nothing episode, which
Yeah, no, I think
I'm not.
next
The thing
one
is like I kind of expected this to happen at some point. Like
yeah,
One Piece, like every arc has a few of these, so just
Good
whatever. Do it.
I feel like I can actually guarantee that this is the last completely nothing episode of this
Yeah.
arc.
I think after this we see Oars run around and be incredibly awesome.
But no, like literally the first thing out of Orz's mouth is like, so what do you think the first thing out of Luffy's mouth when he wakes up is going to be?
Seriously.
I was expecting.
guess
I was
what?
actually expecting him to say I'm hungry, but that was actually the second thing he said. The first thing.
No, the first thing you said is meat.
Of course, that's the first thing he said. It's the first thing Luffy says.
So my guess is Orz's downfall is going to be Luffy's incompetence and just relative, not very smart.
No.
Okay.
No, it's a little more complicated than that.
It's a little more actually amazing than that.
It really is. There's this really amazing moment that's like, yes.
There's like 3 amazing moments involving Orz fighting everyone.
Yeah.
So I have a
Robin
question.
ruins
Will
one.
we finish this arc this year?
No.
Episodes? No. Okay.
Not
I
in
think
20
we're going to be at the. I think
I'm
we're gonna
just trying to
reach
get-
the
I'm trying to
final
get-
fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to gauge how long this arc is. I mean, how many episodes have we been in this arc?
Thriller Bark is like Water 7 length.
Yeah.
Just not like just Water 7, not Amy's Lobby or the train
Right.
stuff.
So my guess is it's around like 50 episodes or 40 episodes.
Give or take.
Ish. 45-ish.
Yeah. It kind of feels like we're maybe around the halfway point. Is my guess.
It's basically the point right before it's like, okay, counterattack time.
Yeah.
Right.
Shit is at its absolute worst. It's time to fuck shit up.
Right. I mean, this is at the point where it's like the setup is done at this point, and it's
Well,
all
the only
downhill from
only
here.
thing left is, we have the monster trio or whatever. They're still out of commission, so they got to
Yeah.
spend some time getting them back into the scene.
And we have to
Right.
discover, Brooke's backstory.
Oh yes.
God.
Or at least the bomb. That's in 2 episodes. So on the same night the new show premieres, we will get the bomb dropped.
Oh, the bomb.
Oh, the
I'm gonna
bomb.
cry.
Basically the reason why I'm making a holy shit moment of the year category in the ToonamiGAF Awards.
Because that has to be that.
I have a question. I don't know if you can answer this because I literally trying to go like what I'm trying to predict what you're talking about, what it could be like.
Right.
Is there some element of Brooks' backstory I feel like I don't know yet? Like
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
like I don't know
It is.
why he was on a ship in the first place other than he was a pirate and like,
No,
okay.
it's not that.
I'm trying to think of maybe it connects with something else and like then it like feels like some sort of revelation like oh so that's some explanation that I didn't know that I was looking for.
Kind of.
Or is it
A little bit, yeah. It's kind of a throwback.
yeah.
But
so,
it's basically
I mean,
he says one word and it's like, boom.
And it's like, yes.
yeah, so like obviously I know One Piece is very
It
well
loves its throwbacks.
very well regarded with its throwback, but I'm trying to like think like I'm trying to predict what it is. Like I don't think there's any place where like I can think of where Brook says like he was involved somehow or if he is this some I don't like there's nothing that comes to mind, so I'm kind of like wondering what it could be.
Oh man, I can't wait for
Oh, God.
1, 2, 3 weeks from now.
Oh, why couldn't it happen next week?
Because fuck
Next
you,
week
4th of July.
Yes.
I do have a 3-day weekend this week. I didn't realize I
So
had
do
it.
I.
I thought, I don't work for the government. So
No, I
fuck
do as
me.
well. My office is actually closed on Monday, so I'm all excited.
But yeah, I get to play Zero Time Dilemma on a 3-day weekend, a long 3-day weekend.
Yes.
So yeah, basically it's just like 2 more episodes until that.
Oh, that is gonna
That.
be. People are just gonna cry. I know I am.
Will I
And
cry?
Yes, you
no,
will.
you will cry later, but not at this moment. This moment is just the holy shit moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
And I
I'm gonna be like racking my brain what it could possibly be because right now like I'm trying to like what's been set up so far like I don't know. It's like,
I wonder if he'll fig. I wonder if some people will figure it out when the episode title shows up.
There's no way they don't figure it out from the episode title.
I mean
I
Toei
hope that
usually right in the episode title.
it's not Toei's most. It's not an obvious episode title, but but a specific. But you know, if your brain is already racing, you might hit the answer.
Yes.
Anyway,
Oh,
like
excitement.
I try to
it
keep
really
track.
is.
I try to keep track of things that are like unexplained. Like for example, on
It's not.
Skypiea when um, the boat was magically saved, and that was kind of explained later. And then
Right.
Luffy was saved in Logetown, and that was explained later. Like,
It's
is there
it's
anything that I feel like there's an empty space where something should be explained? I'm trying to
it,
think.
it's more like
There's been a couple of name drops that haven't
no,
really
no.
materialized yet, but
It's not
otherwise,
something like that.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
how do I say it? No,
don't.
no, no, no.
Nope.
I'm gonna get this without spoiling it for
I
you.
mean, I'm not really a big spoiler culture guy, but
Yeah,
it's one of
no,
those
no.
things I
This
kind of
cannot be
want to.
spoiled for you.
Other people are listening.
Yeah,
I'm trying to predict what you could be talking about. I mean, most people in the thread have seen this show. I guess
yeah.
there's a couple
It's
people like
basically you, Crocodile, Zonic, some other people.
In H Town,
Yes.
like sometimes who's yeah. So
Like, I feel like we need to get you people in front of a camera and you're watching it just so you can see what
a YouTube
happens.
reaction video.
Yes,
It would be an amazing moment for that.
it really is. I mean, it's not like Red Wedding, but it's, you know,
Okay, so a bunch of people are gonna die.
No.
no, no.
This is One Piece. Nobody dies.
This is actually the
Well,
point
not
where
yet.
this is actually the point where Luffy dies, and somehow that spoiler has been very well contained.
Everything after Thriller Bark is just a coma dream.
Yes.
It is.
Just like every show ever.
Yeah,
Inevitably, someone will say, hey, it's just a coma.
yeah.
Well, I know whatever this Brooks backstory is, I know it's supposed to be sad, and and Frankie said he's such a nice guy, so it has something to do with Brooks' generosity or niceness or something. I don't know.
Anyway, you'll see it. 3 weeks from now,
Dude.
people will be losing their shit. I
They
guarantee it.
will.
I'm almost sad I wasn't around
Robin
reading
seemed
them.
unfazed though.
Well,
She's
Robin
always
doesn't.
unfazed.
Yeah.
Robin is always unfazed.
Seriously.
She has enough trauma to last a while.
That's her joke, that she is
Yeah.
always unfazed.
She actually has
Like
a
even
really
like
good
back when
moment
in
later on.
Skypiea, they're like everyone, even the ship is like their eyeballs are literally out of their sockets, and she's like, "Yep,
Nope. Whatever.
okay, this is happening." And even back when the ghost ship first showed up, everyone was losing their minds, and she's just like,
Except Robin.
"Yep."
That's happening.
That's
That's
good.
she's literally a gag of how it's literally the visual gag of the show where everyone loses their shit except Robin.
Yes. They actually expanded that gag recently in the manga where, you get a little peek inside her head and it's so dark.
Anyway, that's enough of more. This has been your weekly hint, hint, hint about One Piece.
Yes.
Yeah, so that means it's about
Hurry
time to wrap
up.
it up. Once again, thank you, Seda,
Yep.
Mhm.
and thank you, B-Dubs.
Hello.
So who's excited for Hunter x Hunter marathon?
I'm not watching it.
Me neither.
Hunter x Hunter is a show I said maybe I might watch a marathon, but then in practice it's like, oh wait, no.
Not this marathon.
At this point, I feel like only One Punch Man and JoJo are the marathons I would watch.
Honestly, I don't say that until you see what the next arc looks like. Because you'd watch a marathon of that.
Maybe, yeah.
I assume there's like eventually, a series of battles that like if that was marathon, you would watch it.
No,
That's,
it's not like that. You'll
The
see what
last time I
happens
was
in
dying to
the
watch a
next arc.
marathon of anything was in elementary school, and like Disney Channel was having an all-day Fillmore marathon.
Yes, I remember that.
Do you remember Fillmore?
Yes, I do.
I should look that up and see if it's anywhere on the internet.
It is.
Great.
is
It's
Fillmore
on
the guy?
YouTube.
Is Fillmore that cartoon with like the skater guy?
Fillmore is the cartoon where it's like a
It's
noir detective fiction set in a middle school.
yes.
And does the main guy like
It's
ride a
like
skateboard, or am I thinking of something else?
no, that's
No,
something else.
the main
Alright.
guy is like is like
Is the main kid black?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, and
I think I
and his
remember it, but I
partner
might
is
be
like
mixing it up with something else.
Yeah,
Raven from Teen Titans with no superpowers.
right. Except somehow darker.
Oh yeah, I've seen I googled it and I recognize it.
What the fuck happened to Kim Possible?
I
That
think it just
finished,
ran
I
its
think.
course.
Yeah, they finished it.
I remember it being good.
I think I was in middle school and that was airing, and I thought it seemed
Yeah, me too.
like
Everything
a
on
good.
Disney Channel around that time, it feels like just dropped off the face of the
What does
earth.
Disney Channel even do now? Is it a bunch of tween
Disney Channel just does
comedies?
Yeah.
Corey in the House 24/7.
I think
Yeah.
I
No,
think
I
ever
mean
since like Hannah Montana, it's been just like a bunch of tween
tween
shows.
stuff.
Like both Nickelodeon and Disney
Yeah.
Channel decided, fuck it, cartoons
Tween.
and even Cartoon Network. They
No,
all at the same
Cartoon
time
Network is
decided.
coming back though.
I mean, yeah, it is coming back, but it
Cart-
was, huh?
Cartoon Network is like Teen Titans Go all the time now.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
basically, no superhero cartoons, but
Nope.
you will get good cartoons of like the mix of comedy and action, like
Yeah.
Powerpuff
Adventure
Girls.
Time and Steven Universe
Powerpuff
and
Girls.
regular show.
Powerpuff Girls.
No. New
No.
Powerpuff Girls is horrible.
I haven't actually seen anything, but I've seen a few just scenes and
When I
screen
saw
grabs,
Bubbles
and it's
doing
like
the No Me Gusta face, I was like, burn
Oh.
this shit to the ground.
like that Joker meme was never funny, and that was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And even worse thing is that the kids watching it probably think that is the most hilarious shit they've ever seen. They probably love it.
Honestly, I remember.
Now, excuse me, I have to go outside and yell at clouds.
Yes. Honestly, I just feel like the guys making it don't really get what made it work in the first place.
Or they know exactly what kids want,
That too.
and that's a bad. Anyway,
Yeah.
shit, cartoons. See you in 2 weeks. Because
we're not covering the Hunter x Hunter marathon.
no, we're not. I mean, I guess we could do like a 15-minute thing where it's like, hey, this got announced.
Yeah, maybe we'll think. Maybe it depends on what it is.
If it's
I mean, it sounds
JoJo,
like-
then it's be like, here's a 2-hour extravaganza.
well, if it's One Punch Man, we can do it like. I mean, whatever it is, we should probably at least do 5 minutes saying hello.
Okay, sure, yeah. We'll do a brief news update. Episode 13.5. Sounds good?
Sounds
All right.
good.
All right.
Have
We'll
a good
see you.
3-day weekend.
We'll see you next week for episode 13.5.
Yes.
Have a nice day.
Goodbye.